everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Let's start today's topics. Rivian automotive stock has been trading far worse than most of its peers. Sales and products aren't the problem. It's spending that has spooked investors, despite selling bonds to inject more liquidity into the company. Rivian stock has fallen about 26% year to date. Morgan Stanley analyst Adam Jonas noted that recent Rivian stock levels were trading below their cash value. And 40% of investors believed Rivian should pursue some kind of strategic alternative to improve investor sentiment. Wedbush analyst Dan Ives believes an activist would help and suggests that Rivian relocate headquarters to Illinois, add to staffing levels, pause spending in Georgia, and renegotiate supplier deals. Battle Road research analysts Ben Rose and Jonathan Rowe recommend management by some Rivian stock and accelerate production on electric delivery vans. Rivian certainly has a lot of ideas on what to do to improve investor sentiment. The only challenge is finding the executives with the stomach to actually follow through on implementing them. The rally in shares of LG Energy Solution, a South Korean EV battery maker which supplies EV batteries to Tesla, tracked the U.S. auto giant's shares, which surged 7.8% on Nasdaq Tuesday, the sharpest daily percentage gains since January 27. This followed Moody's Investors Service's long-term issuer rating lift on Tesla's debt to Ba3. Goldman Sachs research note pointed out that LG Energy Solution and other South Korean battery makers are expected to raise their combined U.S. market share sharply to 57% by 2025, and that LG Energy Solutions U.S. projects account for 70% of the company's current backlog. South Korean companies are rapidly expanding battery production capacity in the U.S. to gain from the Inflation Reduction Act that supports local manufacturers against Chinese exports. Tesla's shares continue to rally while South Korean EV battery makers accelerate expansion opportunities amidst growing supply chain costs. The pandemic accelerated a heightened period of volatility for stocks, and GameStop Corp. GME was no exception. The gaming retailer, along with Virgin Orbit Holdings Inc. VORB, Nvidia Corp. NDA, Carvana Co. CVNA, and Ollie's Bargain Outlet Holdings Inc. Ollie, all experienced climbs in their respective share price in midday trading on March 22, 2021. With stock prices fluctuating just as quickly as the shareholders' emotions, buying and holding the stocks for too long may not always be a winning strategy. Publishers of online content, such as the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and the parent company of Sports Illustrated, fear AI technology from companies like Microsoft, Alpha, and OpenAI are draining away much-needed traffic and advertising revenue from their sites. As a result, these companies are beginning to align to protect their content, despite the fair use legal provision, which some AI companies are taking advantage of. Publishing companies are actively exploring whether to press for licensing or revenue shares for their content. Never underestimate the power of collective rage. Publishers versus tech giants? Who will win this epic showdown? The Federal Trade Commission has launched an investigation on the business practices of cloud computing companies and their market power, as well as the impact of cloud computing on industries from healthcare to defense. This investigation is focused on the big four cloud computing providers: Alphabet's Google, Amazon Web Services, Microsoft Corp., and Oracle Corp. The FTC plans to learn about the impact of cloud computing services and their reliance, competitive dynamics, and the potential security risks associated with the use of the cloud. The public has until May 22, 2023 to submit a comment. It has only taken the FTC all these years to start taking action on the big cloud computing providers' power. Better late than never. Palantir USG has recently secured a $18.5 million firm fixed-price modification to a U.S. Air Force contract for Project Brown Heron Data-as-a-Service. This contract amendment provides services that supports 3 mission areas to automatically ingest data across the Department of the Air Force, such as personnel decisions, planning and operations, and space situational awareness and command and control. Work will be performed in Palo Alto, California, and is expected to be completed by June 15. The total cumulative face value of the contract is approximately $195.7 million. Palantir USG's military data-as-a-service contract shows they have the capability to service extensive and sophisticated projects, often with impressive results, all in less than 5 months, no less. The U.S. stock market indices rallied Tuesday following easing banking tensions, strong economic data, and Fed yield news. The S&P 500 index, SPY, closed up plus 1.30%. The Dow Jones Industrials Index, DIA, closed up plus 0.98%, and the Nasdaq 100 Index, QQQ, closed up plus 1.42%. Bank stocks also had a significant rally as U.S. officials are reported to debate temporarily expanding federal deposit insurance coverage to cover all deposits greater than the current $250,000 cap on most accounts. This boosted global bond yields, pushing the 10-year T-note yield up by plus 10.5 BP to 3.590%, the 10-year German bund up by plus 16.7 BP to 2.292%, and the 10-year UK gilt yield up plus 5.7 BP to 3.367%. Electric vehicle makers such as Tesla, TSLA, closed up more than plus 7% on news that 2022 electric vehicle sales jumped plus 60% year-over-year to 10.4 million units. Also, Charles Schwab, SCHW, closed up more than plus 5% on insider buying, with stocks rallying, bonds climbing, and electric car sales accelerating. What is there not to love? This is everything for now on the Wall Street wackiness. See you in another time.